Hello and welcome to the Otaku Network podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And we are into week 13, the final week of the winter 2026 anime season. The final episode of Journal with Witch, we begin where we left the last episode off, with Asa running into her classmate who's been absent following the crushing of her spirit due to a conspiracy by the college she wanted to go to for medical school in the way it was negatively impacting female students based upon their dress code, which just pretty much crushed her spirit and soul and will to continue on this hard academic course of becoming a medical doctor.
Primarily focused on Asa and the crushing depression of losing people so close to you and how just like some things in life just make you want to give up. And why didn't Asa give up?
The bulk of the rest of the episode deals with Asa finally doing the performance for the beginning of the semester, welcoming in the new students, of which she's been nervous for the entire time, even though Makio keeps telling her to stop thinking about it that way. And she performs, and the performance goes off pretty well. It's a good reception. Catches the eye of a young boy in the wings, hinting at maybe a possible relationship that she's been desiring for most of the season. And honestly, that's kind of it. We just culminate into this routine of living that has been established and appears to feel comfortable for both Makio and Asa. And the episode ends with a jump 10 years in the future where Asa and Emily are having lunch together. And it seems that the relationship has withstood the test of time and I'm assuming separation of space, particularly after high school graduation, as they decide to crash Makio's apartment and do some day drinking with her. It does feel like we got to the place that David had pointed out we were aiming at, as we saw in the first episode. I think as showcased with us returning to the image of Asa taking a candid photograph of Makio as she's trying to go to sleep. All's well that ends well, I guess, right?
The story is beautiful. I could not have asked for a better resolution to a coming-of-age story.
Yeah, I don't think we were going to end it with her removing herself from the game.
I'm also glad that it took one season to do it. I don't think I could have waited for another season and would have been sorely disappointed when it didn't get that next season.
I'm sure there's stuff that was left out, some more in-depth character discussion.
Yeah.
That's in the manga.
Like, I'd like to see if Makio ended up with Kasamichi. I'd like to see, like, Asa and Emori's families, or lack thereof.
Sure.
But it's not important. It's not imperative that I know that. It's just something cute that I would like to get as a bonus.
Nice little omake.
Yeah.
The intent of this story, I think, was to show the development and growth of these two individuals as their world completely collapses around them. Maybe not collapses, but, well,
changes drastically.
For Asa's definitely collapses. And for Makio, very much changes completely. And the way that they grow as individuals and as companions.
Yeah.
Associates. I don't know.
Good news for the series. It is getting an English dub eventually.
Biggest news would be that the manga gets picked up and localized.
But for those of you that don't necessarily always want to, read your anime.
Sure.
A beautiful anime is getting an English dub.
Making it accessible to more people, which is always a positive thing.
Yes. Because there are definitely people that kind of need the English dubs to be able to understand everything. And I always yearn for those English dubs so more people can enjoy these beautiful stories. Just looking at you, Red Cat Ramen. Give me that English dub already. I finished watching it and I felt fulfilled. I felt like none of my time was wasted. It just the beautiful little bow on top of a beautiful little story. I hate that your choice is so much better than mine this season.
Speaking of a show that we know is going to continue down the road after the events of this season, Jujutsu Kaisen.
So the ultimate episode for at least what we're going to be talking about this season, we get an additional, it was like 6 minutes of runtime to showcase the powers of Yuta Okatsu. And he went sicko mode for almost 30 minutes. We watched him battle the, what were they called? Like warlords or something? What do they call them?
I don't remember.
They gave themselves a title, and we watched Yuta go ham against them. There was the gross cockroach guy. That was a cursed spirit. And then Nikki Cloud Bitch. And then JoJo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And yeah, it was literally 30 minutes of them fighting and just showing off the dicks. I mean, powers. We learned something huge about Yuta. He has the ability to copy other people's curse techniques by consuming their flesh, specifically by Rika consuming their flesh. So yeah, we learned that Yuta is kind of a copycat.
Yuta is narratively
Jesus.
Omnipotent.
Yes. Yuta is very quickly becoming the main character, which is sad because we're probably not going to see Yuji for a while, at least from what I've heard. Because second to Choso, I do really like Yuji.
Yeah, who knows when we're going to see Choso?
Yuji's the goodest boy.
He is an obedient dog.
He is the goodest boy. Just like Nobara was the goodest girl. I really like Nobara.
Yeah, she was okay.
She's great.
She was all right.
She's great. She's got that sassy energy that we all love in female leads. Very much a Nami-esque characterization on her part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't really know how to...
We got an entire season where we were complaining about how for a fighting anime, there's not a lot of fighting. And then we get a final episode that is nothing but fighting and just ridiculous showing off of techniques and concepts.
Cool. I liked it.
It was kind of cool, but again, these characters were stupid. I enjoyed the visual aesthetic of the woman who...
Yeah,
her power was cool where she could manipulate space.
Yes.
And I liked how she chose to just cover her exposed bits with manipulating space.
Yes.
That was an interesting concept.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just going to bring up the idea that this just felt so much like Gege just throwing ideas to the wall to play with for a little bit that had literally no impact on anything. I feel in the grand scheme of Jujutsu Kaisen story. Like this is just all filler, it felt like.
I feel like the Culling Games is doing way more showing. It's just showing. Yeah. And then I feel like it's going to be like when we get to the ass end of the Culling Games part 2, it's going to be like, oh, hey, by the way, this is why all this was important. And they're going to like take 5 seconds to do it. And you're going to be like, I had to wait this long for this.
Feels like a cop-out, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like a backronym where you come up with the acronym first and then you figure out what it stands for.
I will continue to like Jujutsu Kaisen because it has a special place for me because of the connotation of my best friend and I spend time watching it together.
Yeah.
But beyond that special bond that I share over this show, I do not know if I knew Bridget if I would watch JJK.
Or if you would have continued watching JJK.
Yes. I don't even know if I would have started it.
Really?
There was a lot of her like pushing and prodding to get me to start watching JJK with her. And the only reason I started watching it is because I was sick with COVID and she would call me over Discord and we would watch it together.
Well, yeah, nice.
Like to keep me company while I was sick with COVID and isolated, she would watch JJK with me. And that's how I didn't go fucking stir crazy during COVID. I don't think I would have ever watched JJK.
Okay.
And like now I have this special connection to it because of that. And I just, watching season 3, I'm just like, I don't know if I would have watched this by myself.
Much disappoint.
Yeah. Like again, watching like One Piece or even just watching Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, it's typical shonen. It doesn't pretend it's not. JJK tries to be really serious and then just throws in balls falling out of Costume Man.
When the stand-up comedy guy showed up, I'm telling you, it just painfully shifted the tone of that episode in a bad way.
Yeah. It was like there was a cool fight. You're like, oh, this is neat. And then and you're like, oh God, that's a dick. Thank you for censoring that, but God. That's how I feel about JJK right now.
Well, we'll see what happens when the Culling Game arc returns. I'm not Is it next year?
I feel like this was the weaker part of the manga too.
Okay.
That people just didn't know what Gege was doing. And like you gotta get through the Culling Games to get to the good end. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if it's actually worth it by the time that shows up.
She's such a fangirl that she thinks this is all great. I can at least critique it.
The beginning was okay. It was fine. And I think by the time I realized how much I liked Choso, then we just didn't get Choso. And I think it hurt extra hard for how little Choso we had with how agonizingly unimportant 3/4 of the show was.
Yeah, because Choso and Yuki are just chilling with Tengen.
So at the beginning of it, we have a lot of this stylized presentation.
Yeah.
You know, where they're doing very, very cinematic things. And then they just kind of stopped.
Yeah, and then it just became herder.
Yeah, well, there wasn't even any punching. It was a lot of talking and like throwing people through buildings, which there comes a point, regardless, saying withstanding, of the character's supernatural fortitude, that you can only go through so many buildings before you just stop doing things. And JJK pushes that too far, I feel.
I mean, to be fair, Yuta does have reverse curse technique and can just heal himself.
Too many times in the Tokyo colony did Yuji just get thrown through or into or onto buildings.
Homie does have a lot of Sukuna fingers.
Look, don't waste a good visual by repeating it over and over and over again, because ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, if he's not going to be affected by it, what's the point of doing it in the first place? It's my thing. The stakes. There have been no stakes at all. Zero stakes.
Gato did die for less.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Because when he fought Gojo in JJK Zero,
yeah,
he did not fly through buildings and died.
Yeah. It's just,
he's got his arm blown off by some curse technique.
Spectacle that had no reason to it, honestly.
I did like the touch of Yuta being like, I'm going to be the one to kill Kenjaku so that Gojo doesn't have to kill his best friend a second time.
That was nice.
I was like, that was good writing.
Yeah.
That was actually fairly good writing.
Yuta seems like a decent character.
I like Yuta a lot. I like the Yuta Rika thing. It's his fault.
It is his fault.
Rita
is a cursed spirit. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I don't know if you watched Zero. Did you watch Zero?
No.
Yeah. So
I know the story.
That whole movie explores him accidentally making Rika be his just a cursed being attached to him, and then his Shikigami.
Yep. All right, let's talk about something nice to wrap this up.
Oh my God. The end of My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2 was the piece de resistance. We get the cute little wrap-up of CC being taken to the hospital and the cover-up of Koichi's involvement in this. Makoto uses her connections to her brother now to completely cover up what happened during the incident with Koichi. It was all CC. CC got to be the hero, and he couldn't even mention that he had formed a bond with Koichi during his time in Japan. His wife rushes to Japan to basically beat the shit out of him for getting hurt, and then they go back to the United States with Makoto in tow as she goes to study abroad in New York. And
Koichi.
Or Koichi. That pretty much ends the time period that all of this took place. And on top of that, too, we also had O'Clock and Want to be O'Clock basically maybe blow each other to pieces.
The end of Knuckle Duster versus Lizard Boy.
Yeah. They go kaboom. And now we have a very, very big cliffhanger on what the fate of Knuckle Duster was. And so with that hanging participle, we time skip ahead 2 years. We have reached the time skip of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which means Koichi is now graduating from college and Pop Step is very much likely graduating from high school.
I think so, yeah.
Which means
she was definitely studying for exams, it looked like.
Yes. So now Koichi should be 22 and Pop Step is now 18.
Yeah.
And
so now they can be a couple.
Yeah, without it being weird.
Yeah.
And then did it not feel like they were kind of leaning that way at the end there?
Oh, 100%.
Which I did the little leg kickies like, yay!
There was Koichi talking about him trying to get himself out into the job market and what it means for him just hanging up his hoodie.
Yeah.
And no longer, doing the vigilante thing. And Pop Step seemed kind of saddened by that prospect.
Yeah, she did.
And so he was like, we're only going to do this until I find a job. And then they scurry off into the streets for a patrol.
Next season, Pop Step making sure Koichi doesn't get a job.
Right. We're definitely getting a next season, though, because there was a post-credit scene.
Oh, yeah.
Which was Now and the other police and whoever else talking about the investigation of the exploded building were...
Yeah, and it was Knuckle Duster's contact, too.
Yeah, so...
We're getting the next season.
There's definitely going to be a next season, thankfully.
When? Who knows?
Yeah,
but
who knows?
Probably around this time again.
Yeah, it was a good end to the season. And I love the fact that they gave us the teaser at the end of it to let us know that we are going to get more eventually down the road.
Sped through the credits to make sure that we were getting another season. It's like, if they ended it there, okay, but please, God, give me more.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been a bad place to end, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, except for the cliffhanger of the actual plot of the show.
Yes.
Which is the trigger thing.
Yeah. When I saw the 2 years later, I was like, yeah, boy, we hit the time skip. Was it just me, or did Koichi and Pop Step look a little bit older too? And I really appreciated that.
I don't think I noticed anything, but I may not have been paying attention.
I feel like Koichi looks a little bit more mature in the face.
Yeah, maybe.
And Pop just seems a little bit taller. So
you may be right about that.
I think they definitely took the detail of aging them up a teeny bit You know how they do that stupid thing in anime where like you'll have a flashback to like a 5-year-old version of the main character,
and it looks
they
just like a miniaturized version.
I'll say
of
they
the
just look like a shrunk down version of the character.
Same hair and everything. I hate that. I rail about that all the time.
Which
I hate that so much.
Was a beautiful touch with Asa's flashbacks. Going back to Journal with Witch.
Yeah.
The flashbacks to like Asa and Makio and their sister.
But they look different through the ages, like human beings do. You would think.
And like the walking, where she's walking with her parents.
Oh, and growing up.
You watch her like flip through all of her different styles and growing up and her hair changing and getting cut and growing out again. I was like, beautiful.
You would think for a manga artist who I would suspect one of the things they enjoy the most is character design, that they would put more thought into the different time frames of their character's appearance. But no, a lot of the times it's just a miniature version of what we fucking deal with right now. It's so annoying. I hate it.
Gege did pretty good with that.
Did he?
In JJK.
Okay.
Like young Gojo.
Oh, yeah.
Did not look like adult Gojo.
No.
Young Yuji did not look like adult Yuji.
No, you're right.
So we give Gege that credit.
Yeah, we'll definitely 100%. Journal with Witch.
Strong A.
I'm going to give it an A-.
I don't know. I thought it was beautiful. I don't think there was anything about it that I disliked. While
it's beautiful and well written, I don't think it's something I enjoy better or equal to City. Orb, I gave the A to just because of like
genre defining.
Not saying I have game, but recognizing game. Like Orb is a unique masterpiece.
Orb was genre defining.
Yeah.
And then City was
just perfection. Damn near.
It
just under perfection.
It pushed its genre.
Because I don't think I can ever give something an A+. Season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen.
I'm going to give it a solid B.
That feels generous.
I still like the show.
Okay.
And it has a special place in my heart, so I'm going to give it a B.
I'm giving it a D+. The other thing I gave it a D+ to was Remonster.
Oh, don't you put that in the same category as
I was disappointed in this season.
Don't you put this in the same category as that dumpster fire.
I also gave Lazarus a D+.
Yeah, I know. Bridget still resents you for giving it a D+.
A D- is Ubelblot.
I think I gave that like an F, didn't I?
Yes.
That show was garbage tier. We got hate for our hate of that show.
Yeah, which is funny. I love it.
Garbage
Bring it.
Tier. If you still listen to this podcast, garbage tier anime.
All right, My Hero Academia Vigilantes season 2.
Oh God, what did I give season 1?
B+.
I think the series has moved into solid A- for me.
Okay, I give it a B+. I think it's maintained course.
I think it's gotten a little bit better.
Some people have disparaged this season. I don't listen to those people because they probably have tastes that are far different from mine. But I did really enjoy this season, and I thought it continued the story in an appropriate manner, especially with the crazy move of not focusing on the main characters for a good chunk of it. Like, bold move, Cotton. And I think it paid off.
I adored MHA. I think I became even more in love with Vigilantes because of the deviation from the main characters.
Sure.
Like, the bravery to do that, and then to execute it well, just blew me out of the water.
It feels so much like a Western superhero comic book in a good way. Like, yeah. I don't really do superhero comics, especially anymore. Like, I did a bit when I was a kid.
It just feels like you're going to visit an old friend.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fun story.
You love that old friend. You go, you hang out with them, you have a blast.
Yeah.
Maybe kick back a couple beers. Like, this show is a comfort show. Like a legit comfort show. I could go back and rewatch this show and just be like, this is my thing that I'll put on when I want to feel comfortable again.
I got to rewatch Journal with Witch now that the whole thing is out.
I kind of want to rewatch it too. And when it comes out, if it does come out with an English dub, yeah. I want to watch the dub so I can compare side by side the energy that each audio gives. But no, this is a good season.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad of a season. Definitely.
I wish the middle of JJK's season wasn't a quaalude.
Definitely My Hero Academia Vigilantes and Journal with Witch did a lot of heavy lifting in the second half of the season. In our, enjoyable factor for overall. Coupled with quite a few series that I was watching that we haven't talked about that were just pretty strong. Like, you and I are polar opposites.
Which I need to watch.
It's so good. It's so fucking cute. All right, well, that wraps up the winter season, which means next week, we're on to the spring season. Woo! So we've got 3 brand new shows that we're going to be talking about. My pick is the romantic comedy Kirio Fan Club.
My pick is Rooster Fighter.
And the joint pick is Demons of the Shadow Realm.
those of you that are unfamiliar, is another story done by the same artist that did Full Metal Alchemist.
This past Wednesday was the final episode of Weekly Ranma of us going over the OAVs. Thankfully, Season 3 has been announced for the fall, so
Whoa!
we'll be taking a 2-season break from Weekly Ranma, and instead, starting next Wednesday, we'll be doing a dive into the world of Haruhi Suzumiya in celebration of its 20th anniversary of the anime airing. So look forward to that. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notified when new episodes drop. And we'll check you guys next time.
Deuces.